Hi, this is the start of part 2, and I've finished all the wiring of the frames now. And I didn't show you last time, but these are the screws I put on the top. Now, I had a funny idea. I'd thought about this when I was commercial beekeeping, and one of the beekeepers there said you're not allowed to have brass inside a beehive because it reacts with the honey or contaminates the honey. So I'm not sure you'd want to do this unless you check first if you're going to sell your honey. You plan on selling it, or yeah, I'm not too sure about it, but for me it's fine. Like, I'm not going to sell the honey, it's just going to be for us. So here we go. I was just wondering about this wax, whether it needs to be warm or cold, and I have an idea that when I was beekeeping as well, is that the boss said it's better if it's cold. So I'm going to try it cold because it's just early in the morning now, and I just feed it into that slot there, make sure it's centered, and try out this gadget here. I've never done it using one of these before. I always used a car battery, but like I said previously, I'm not going to risk my car using the car battery because I don't have a spare battery. So now apparently what you have to do is just touch this wire on, touch the terminals here until you see it coming through. And I'm always going to err on the side of caution because I don't want to cut any of these wax frames. What I'm doing sometimes is actually just, actually I might flip this over. Oh, maybe not. I've got it on the wrong side, so I can't get this. That should be right though. The middle one. There we go, I can just see it coming through, just run my finger down quickly. Should be fine. And the last one. There, middle bit not touching here, and that's it. One frame. You can see quite a bit of wire here, but it is going through and it's holding, so that's good enough for me. And that was the last one, so now all I got to do is I got some EpiGuard, I think it's called EpiGuard, yesterday, and so we've got some spaces to make up today to put on the beehives. Last time I used EpiStan and they said I need to alternate, so that's what I'm going to be making next. And after that I'll put the super on top of a couple of these supers on top of the hives out there, so that'll be this afternoon. Yeah. How's it going? I just thought I'd show you what we picked up yesterday at Ceracell for the bees, to treat the bees with. It was EpiGuard. And just before I do that, I've also got some straps to go around these hives, galvanised straps, because I've got them sitting up on some cinder blocks, just some boulders blocks, concrete blocks down there, to keep them up off the ground, because I heard that if they get about 30 centimetres off the ground, there's like a certain height which is the most beneficial for bees, not too high, not too low, but it also keeps them out of the grass, which I'm just letting grow long here because I've got a whole lot of clover in it and I'm bee mad. And so I'll show you the straps that I got in the EpiGuard, and also I needed to get some spaces to put between on top of the brood box, so there's room for the bees to get to the EpiGuard. So here it is here, I'll just show you in here, this box here. Here's the EpiGuard. Two boxes of 10. Yeah, got 2 of those. And I've also got these galvanised straps, which are a good idea. When I used to use them, it was to stop the cows from lifting the lids off the hives if you have them in paddocks, but I think with the southerlies we get blowing through here, and it blows straight across to my hives. And during winter, one of my hive lids actually blew off while I was in the Philippines, and Mum had to come out and try and save my bees and put the hive back together. So the wind can be quite strong. So I'm hoping that these straps do the trick. And the last thing I just wanted to show is I've got the spaces. They were $6 each, so it's about that wide. And there's the other bits. I'm going to make them now, and it just goes on top of the brood box, because apparently the EpiGuard comes in little trays of and I think it's thymol, which comes from thyme, I think. I'm not sure how that works, but it sounds like it's all organic, so I wouldn't have to worry too much about eating the honey. But apparently you put one tray on for 2 weeks, and then once that's empty, you put the next one on for 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm looking at 6 to 8 weeks before that treatment's finished, and by then we'll be into summer. So I really want to have the honey supers on. To decide when I put the honey supers on, like, I'm wondering whether I should even put them on now. But there is about 28 hives just down the back, commercial beekeeper, and they're only still in their single brood box. So what I might do is just keep an eye on him, and sort of, I see it as a disadvantage having a commercial beekeeper just next door, but I'm going to try and use it as an advantage and follow what he does, because obviously if he's putting honey supers on, because I think he just runs one brood box, then it's probably the right time for me to put extra honey supers on my hives, because I imagine he would know the flow around here better than I do. And so that's what we're doing. So now I'm going to get to work with Melanie, and we're going to make up these spaces and paint some of those brood boxes that we made up 2 days ago. Well, I just finished making the spaces, which took a while, and I'm just deciding now whether I should paint them and wait, or put them on and let them weather for 6 weeks. I'm not sure, they're not treated. 6 weeks in the rain and that might not be good for them. I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to put them on and see what happens. After 2 weeks of treatment, I'll have to go into the hives again, so in that case I could probably take them off for a day while I paint them and let them dry, and then the next day put them back on for the next 4 weeks if need be. But I really want to get these bees treated as soon as I can, because there's a beehive at the school and some of them have got deformed wing disease, I think it's called. Deformed wing something anyway, and it means they've got varroa in the hive probably. And they were treated, but I'm just they must be having a rough time over there. So I want to get those treated as well with the EpiGuard today, so I'll be doing that this afternoon. And I will film it, or I'll do my best to, or maybe Melanie can do it for me. See ya.